G'day, Dan here. My last video for today, I think. I'm meant to be sitting here meditating, relaxing, and connecting, but there was something came to me again from last night. I was talking to Mexi, shout out, brother, who's been in a lot of rooms. If you look on our Twitter spaces back in the day, same name as this channel. We used to do some rooms, but we're doing the metaverse, and it was a bit more. A few things have changed since then, but long story short, Mexi used to be on there, and he's actually doing a movie, and it was driven by a couple of well-known actors. Long story, I won't name the names, but really well-known, and few actually. And he was doing it because one had died, and it was a legacy-based thing, and they wanted to change and do what they were doing. But long story short, it was literally about that. The storyline was around this young fella that was dealing with well, high up there, he was in drugs and gang world over in the US or Mexico or wherever. And he was taking this young fella in the car and to say, don't go down this road. It's not the road you want to go down. And in that exact car ride, they got pulled over by the cops and he had cocaine in the car. And he ended up killing a police and killed himself, and the young kid got pinned for it. They had to put it on someone. He didn't do anything, and he lost 30 years of his life. And throughout that storyline, and when he got out, he had to support his sister, who was sick and had no other family left. And throughout all the theme and whatnot anyway, what really struck me was, one, I'm going to help him where I can with the rest of the movie. He was reaching out for assistance with some AI sort of generated content. I said, no, I'm not into that. I think let's find a double there's a couple more of the cast members that have died. And it's just something, I'm not stand for it, given what I just talked about in the last video around family and AI generated content and be real, and we'll see what happens with that anyway. But it's just something now that I'm coming a bit more firmer on, and my beliefs and what I'll stand for. And long story short anyway, it all ended up connecting back to and I've done some stuff around this whole ecosystem for a movie and for a story, for a book, because at the end of the day, these words and these things that we do take on in our own stories do end up creating realities. And you might be on a path where you think it's too late, or because a lot of the theme ended up being as well, when you look at, he was giving an example of Tupac and, how we could relate to, the kids in the hood and on the street. And, it's all good to say here, there's an opportunity there, and then there's the daily life and daily struggle of things as well. So, there's a reality out there, but I do remain firm that, our North Star and our shift in mentality with faith and belief, and being able to connect that and have someone like, even though that unfortunate circumstance that happened in real life wasn't just movie, that we've got the opportunity to change and repent and correct our ways and not be continuing down a path is just full of darkness and evil. And even if you're not being dark and evil, if you just maybe know you're missing the mark. That's the definition of sin. So, not being a huge penalty and fear-based sort of thing, it's more, a reflection on self to be able to correct yourself, and then your contributions to how you're giving back to the world and community, really. Giving him what I said on the last video, with the end in mind, what are you going to remember when you're on your deathbed and you meet the big fella? Anyway. And then what sort of karma, if we believe in, we go into the next life, how you're going to go through that process, or, what's coming next with the ultimate, I don't have those answers, but you get my drift. So, but it really did come down to a lot of the storytelling, and it's not too late, for a change of pathways, basically. And if you are of that sort of world, and that's cool, I'm not saying anything against you, but also I urge you to, with that good and light in yourselves, which I know you've got in you, and you got that streetwise and whatnot. So more of, I suppose, these relationships and people I got over in the US is to, the kids on the hood do what old mate was doing without the coke in the car, and to that policeman, basically, teach the youth there is other ways. Take on our program and build a working group with people like yourselves that know dark and you know light, and can really give that perspective and really hit home and have some deep satisfaction for yourselves in that process. But yeah, I'm looking forward to there's going to be a working group. One of the artists, one of the actors, very well known, again, won't name names, but his sister's now an artist, and doing some podverse stuff, which we started. I'll say we started that. They've got on record in our groups and stuff, and what we did, and then they're doing a metaverse with us as humans in the metaverse, and blah blah blah. So, anyway, as I said, a few things have changed in my mindset on that. But long story short, the working group for artists. There's one lady I know that she's Australia's most successful female living artist, and for what I envisaged and saw along lines with the music stuff I've done was to bring these artists together in the art group and, show how to, tell your provenance. Your storytelling was part of it, how to be worthy and respect yourself with pricing and continuing to price it up, but then also create some what's called derivatives, some alternate versions of the original artwork that you created to expand your audience, make things more accessible, because you've only got so much time to do a painting. And if it's going for $1,000, well, what about the 100 people that might want a little version of that for $10? There's people out there doing it. It's not rocket science, but the ways to get it out there, ways that your story and that provenance storytelling connects to other things that you might be doing as well. So yeah, if anyone's into movies and awareness, and also at the same time into the power of words, and are interested in that, then yeah, let's have a chat, and because it connects. There's so many things that connect. Sorry for confusion. If you are on this channel and you just want succinct, niche down content, you're not getting it, because this is all of the world sort of stuff and conversations. I think you'd agree we need to have conversations on a lot of opportunities people need. So we'll separate sort of things in terms of the platform that's coming and whatnot, but at the moment this channel's where you're getting it. So love it or leave it, and hopefully you're loving it. Let's give you this again. Anyway, enjoy. Peace out, yeah.